So we ended up seeing this move to the downside play out on ADA, following on from my previous update where I mentioned I was looking out for a WX Y structure, and I set out the X wave target to sit between 38.84 cents to 39.32 cents. And here you can see that we ended up tapping into that region, and we ended up reaching 39.07 cents. And that was then followed by a reversal to the upside where we breached above the wave W, or the wave X origin, at 41.77 cents. And that then confirmed a WX Y structure that I was tracking. So here you can see that the Y wave ended up reaching 42.18 cents. So very quickly, if I check to see if the Y wave ended up tapping into the typical range. So if I bring in this fib tool and bring this down to 39.07 cents, the typical range for the Y wave sits between 1 to 1.236, and that region sits between 42.08 cents to 42.79 cents. So here you can see that we ended up reaching that target. So from here on out, it will be interesting to see where it heads next. In order for us to be bullish, what we need is for the price of ADA to retrace towards the 1.6 minute level at 43.94 cents. And as it stands right now, it looks like we are trading below the 50 EMA. And so if we were to get rejected at the 50 EMA and then we see another push to the downside, one of two things could play out where it's possible that what we could have forming is a WXY structure. And here you can see that we have a buy order that sits between around 39 cents to, we'll call it 40 cents. So there will be some buying pressure within this region. And so if we do see this reversal to the downside where the X wave plays out, I will be looking out for the price of ADA to not breach below the local bottom. And we then see that reversal to the upside where we then breach above the local top, which is this level here at 42.18 cents. Now, if worst case scenario, we continue to see a push to the downside where we then breach below this level, then the price of ADA could then potentially reach anywhere between the 1.236 to 1.6 level. And that region sits between 36.65 cents to 37.95 cents. And a short after, we'll be looking out for that reversal. But again, best case scenario, what we need is for the price of ADA to retrace towards the 1.6 minute level. That will then trigger a 5-hour structure, and that could then mark the bottom, and that could also mark the confirmation that we are on an uptrend. So very quickly, if I drop down to the 5-minute chart and check to see what's taken place within this move here. So if I remove that, and yeah, what we need is for a 5-hour structure to play out. And as it stands, it does look like the Y wave could still be in play. Here we had a 5-hour structure that played out, and we had another 5-hour structure. And so what we need is for the price of ADA to not breach below this level at 40.85 cents in order for us to be bullish. It's possible that this move here could have been a WXY structure, and it looks like we ended up breaching above this level here. And so yeah, it looks like we have a WXY structure that's playing out as opposed to a 5-hour structure, and so it is possible that we could have topped off, and what we have forming right now is a X wave, where if I go back to the hourly chart, so if I bring in the fib tool and bring this to 42.18 cents, so the next key target for ADA will be this region between 50 to 18.2%, and that region sits between 39.16 cents to 40.47 cents. And if the price of ADA was to find support within this region, that would then confirm that what we are forming is a WXY structure. However, if we were to get rejected within this region and we see another push to the downside, that would then confirm that we topped off locally at 42.18 cents, and we could see that further push to the downside where ADA could then reach anywhere between 36.65 cents to 37.95 cents. And then shortly after, again, I will be looking out for that reversal to the upside. But of course, that's something I'm going to be tracking in the days and weeks to come, and I'll keep you guys updated. And so yeah, that's just my quick update on Cardano ADA. Hopefully you found this useful, and if you did, then feel free to hit the like button, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.